What's up guys, my name is Soulless Baby, and today I want to go over the Truth of Tarsis Masterwork Sniper Rifle. This is the upgraded version of the Devastator Sniper Rifle, which is one of the most powerful weapons in the game, and for single shot, easily does the most damage of any weapon out there. This gun is one of those items that is just really hard to take off once you put it on any of your builds. It just makes life so easy that I find myself using it almost as a crutch in a lot of situations, and is especially good for boss damage. Even though this isn't one of the weapons that got a buff with the latest patch, it is still a monster when it comes to damage. The only javelin I don't use this thing on is the Interceptor, and the only reason for that is because the Rolling Carnage is my go-to weapon for that guy, because he just makes that thing shine so well. If you haven't seen my review of that, I highly suggest you go watch that, because the gun is just that great. But anyway, on to the Truth of Tarsis. The Masterwork perk on it allows it to detonate combos on critical hits, which is something I actually took for granted until I started rocking the other weapons that can prime enemies and bosses so well, and titans as of today. Now, this weapon only has one bullet in the magazine, and you will have to reload after every shot, but it definitely makes up for that in sheer damage. The stats on this weapon on the new Masterwork level of 61 are 2,399 physical damage, blast damage of 7,199, an optimal range of 60 meters, and rounds per minute coming in at 45. The main drawbacks to this thing are obviously the reload speed and the amount of ammo that you can carry in reserve. BioWare has intentionally made this thing hold less ammo in total than a normal sniper because of how much damage you can do with it. I mean, if you're a Masterwork Javelin doing a normal Tyrant Mine Stronghold, you can take it out in like 4 shots, maybe even less. I haven't really counted. This thing was a monster in the beta, and they actually had to nerf it from there and kill some of its reserves. As far as rolls go on this guy, it's pretty straightforward, and you want as many damage dealing perks as possible. Reload speed is okay, but I just personally prioritize more damage over the reload because I just don't notice that much of a difference when I have a reload buff on it. Now, you also want to look for things on your Javelin that increased blast damage, because as you can see, that's where the majority of the damage that you're dealing is actually coming from. Now, this thing shoots and causes a big explosion, so shooting into a group can actually net you a multi-kill, but I prefer to save my ammo for big boy enemies like enforcers and bosses, especially if they've already been primed. This is like the other side of the card when it comes to elemental weapons. While the other ones make it easy to prime them, this one makes it easy to combo them from a range. But it's not the same as having the other weapons. You'll want less of a primer. You won't need one as much. With the Truth of Tarsis, you still are going to need a detonator. You just don't have as much ammo as you do with the other things that help you prime enemies. The best way I can tell you is to build around this weapon's masterwork as kind of just a plus. Don't take this weapon into combat thinking I'm going to combo everything with it, because you're not going to have enough ammo when it comes to the nitty-gritty of taking out a boss. So the masterwork is just a bonus, but it's something you can definitely build a solid character around if you're using it in the right situations. Honestly, it's hard to tell you guys what kind of damage this thing does in terms of DPS, because of the way that Anthem does its scaling, and the damage numbers pretty much being meaningless, and it's just the boss that you can kind of read how much damage you're doing off of it. But since we don't have numbers up there on the boss, it's kind of hard for me to tell how much damage I'm doing versus what somebody else is doing, and stuff like that. It would be really nice to have a DPS breakdown of all the snipers and all the other weapons in the game, and if they ever clarify how these things are happening with the scaling and all of that, I will definitely look back at this weapon and many others. But until then, that's all I have for you guys today. Leave me a comment underneath this video about how you feel about this weapon and what kind of builds that you would use it in. Like this video, it really does help me out a lot. Subscribe to the channel for future Anthem content, and with that guys, I'll see you in the next video. Have a good one.